And there it is. That's the clap that always starts it. And no, I'm not talking about gonorrhea. I'm talking about beautiful audio cues. Andy, how the devil are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm just, I think, downright emotionally and physically exhausted after our little excursion.
Yeah, and you've got no sleep in the days since.
I haven't. We've taken a little trip ourselves, our own little long-range desert group expedition from the
wilds of Budapest.
yes, or Budapest, I believe, is the pronunciation, as we learned from the folks over in Budapest. We had a little trip. We went off. We took some time, some R&R, get away from the game a little bit, and I mean, we missed it. We did miss it.
Yeah.
You sound hesitant.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think about it much.
Really? It was on my mind constantly.
Oh, okay.
Especially at the zoo.
Well, yeah, that brought it forward.
We went to the zoo in Budapest.
Didn't see the camels.
We didn't see the camels.
Completely fucked it.
They had camels and we chose not to see them. To be fair, it was 36-degree heat. And we'd spend, I think, 5-6 hours wandering around the zoo in Budapest. And it was brilliant. We went through all sorts of interesting adventures. We met the crab that killed Amelia Earhart.
Yes, he was a big guy.
He was. He had like an eldritch look to him.
Yes, he did look monstrous.
He did. It was a hell of a time, a good learning experience.
Yeah.
Learned a lot. Our friend who we were with really educated us. He's a big zoo guy. So he really did the educating.
He also taught us the Amelia Earhart thing.
Yeah, so it turns out when Amelia Earhart crashed in this island, it was an island, wasn't it, that she crashed on?
Yeah, somewhere in the Pacific, I think.
And there's this wild breed of crab, and they look like monsters. Yeah. They look like actual aliens.
Coconut crabs.
Is that what they are?
Yeah.
And they, apparently, the going theory is that they found an injured Amelia Earhart and devoured her.
Which, horrible.
What a horrible way to go. This is War with a Mate. Yeah. This is the podcast where we play the campaign for North Africa. Really long board game. It's very complicated. It's very wacky. And no one's finished it before. But we're going to be the first guys to do that. And we're dedicated to it. And we're so dedicated that even on holiday I thought about it. It was hard getting there as well. We had a real
nightmare,
real journey. So we were going to get the train to a different city, and
it's very funny travel information while trying not to dox yourself.
Well, to be fair, the route itself doesn't really matter because we've already done it now. But we were going to hop on a long train journey to get to an airport, and then we realized quite quickly that that was going to be a problem because the trains were cancelled up until 2 p.m. A pretty tragic thing. Someone actually died on the tracks. So we realized if we wait for the trains to come back on, we're going to miss the flight. So we moped around in the airport for about half an hour, just not really sure if we're going to go on holiday or not. The train station. And in the end, we decided, right, we're gonna take a coach journey. It's going to be longer. It's going to be sweatier, but we're going to do it. So I booked us a last-minute coach. I walked us to the wrong coach station, so we then had to run across town to catch the coach by the skin of our teeth, only to sit down on the coach, and I was sat next to our pal, and it was about half hour in, and I went, well, at least we're finally on the way there. And then the bus driver announced, the motorway is closed on the way to the city. It will be another hour or so tacked onto your journey. So we make our way to the city, and they tell us, because of the lateness, we have cancelled the journey from Central City to the bus, to the airport, and we then had to get an Uber to the airport with a stranger as well.
Yeah.
There was a stranger who was also in the same plight as us, and we offered hop in the taxi with us, some solidarity and sufferance. But we got there in time, with about half an hour to spare when we got through customs, and we hopped on the plane. We had a lovely week. Lovely week in Budapest. We've made it back here.
Yes.
And I've not slept much at all. I think I've collectively had, over the last 6 days, about 14 hours sleep.
Yeah, that's bad, man.
It is. But I'm ticking away. I would hate to have a look at my performance at work the last 2 days. I bet that's questionable. But no, what I have put work into, though, Andy, is what happened today during the game. And more importantly, you've put in some real work. You put in some real moves.
I mean, player's going to play.
Player's going to play. We are in the twilight of Op Stage 2.
Yes, we finished the land movement and combat, so we've got some trucking to do.
And that's it. Then it'll be Op Stage 2 ticked off. So the land movement, as you mentioned, it came to a dramatic conclusion at Fort Magdalena today.
Yeah.
Because we were poised for the showdown of the century. It was going to be a big one. It was going to be a big conflict between my Milady division and the 1st Black Shirts. And that was against your division, who was present.
7th Armoured.
The 7th Armoured
and
Division.
And the infantry accompaniment.
Yes, you had a few infantry battalions alongside. And last play session, you'd taken Fort Magdalena, and you'd taken the airfield there, killed all of my SGSUs, butchered them, and I was poised to take it back. So when I showed up, I was expecting a real big battle. However, my barrage failed to hit anybody, which is costly because I used a lot of ammunition on that. I think it was 40 ammunition points overall.
Ooh.
And that was for a pointless barrage.
Yep.
Completely unfortunate.
Failed to pin anyone, so I retreated before assault.
You did. You smarmy git. You got away. You managed to pull away. And the thing is, you didn't move very far. You moved 1 hex to the east of Fort Magdalena. So we are now in a sort of diamond shape around Fort Magdalena. To which you fucking taunted me.
I was welcoming you in.
You were taunting me. You were stood next to me looking over the board and you went, the airfield's right there. Why don't you just come and take it? And I was like, oh, you know bloody damn well why. Because I'd pincered your 7th Armoured Division.
Yeah, they would have had a real bad time.
And it was to try and make sure that those pesky battalions of infantry weren't going to get involved in this conflict. However, I decided the smart move would be to hold off and stay on the west side of Fort Magdalena and allow the standoff to wait and breathe a little bit, because I've already marched my guys to near exhaustion to get them there. And if I was to push even further, I'm not only going to have them further exhausted, but I'd also then be tackling your men at their full strength. I'd be tackling both sides of your reinforcements.
Yes.
Which would make for a bit of a messy conflict.
And if you'd push cohesion, that's rough, because cohesion
the
morale effect is pretty big.
It is. It massively sways the outcome of combat. And if you get to a certain cohesion level, minus 17, then your units become dysfunctional.
Yes,
and you can no longer detach trucks. In certain combat situations, you immediately surrender. And it makes for all sorts of complications.
If they don't get their past the points, they go to minus 26, which I think is just, if someone shows up, they get captured.
Immediately surrender, yeah. Which I didn't want to happen. I didn't want it to get that bad. So
I would have loved to just take your elite black shirts off because there was no water and they'd push themselves too hard.
Well, resource-wise, they're actually doing all right. The real issue, of course, is on arrival, their trucks were assessed and their... Oh, no, maybe I'm thinking of a different group. Who was it that had the 50%? 50% of light trucks broke down for somebody.
They were the ones who went further. The ones
that was
who
the
pushed
fourth.
Deep in.
Yes, my 4th black shirts, they pushed far east.
Yeah.
And they have lost 50% of their light trucks. That was the worst roll I could get. It was double sixes, full house, and it is damning for them. Their resources are hamstrung. However, the guys who you were up against, they had tanks, they had trucks, and they lost very few. In fact, the black shirts, the 1st black shirts, lost nothing in breakdown. No trucks, no tanks. Whereas the Milady division did lose a handful of trucks, but no tanks. So overall, it was a very successful push, and I've got a very strong position there still. And your retreat was, I'll be honest, a stroke of genius, because it's now made the showdown at Fort Magdalena a real standoff.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to drag out, I think. This could last maybe another 2 op stages, potentially.
I mean, pretty easily.
I don't think anyone wants to really blow their full load on what could be a suicide mission for one side or the other. Me with the cohesion restrictions, and you with being outmatched, I think, by the looks of it. It looks like you're outgunned.
It does have the potential to, like, vortex pull everything in if we do make contact and keep it.
It
where,
does.
Like, other divisions are, like, flying in and it just escalates.
I am concerned we may have created the fulcrum of this whole scenario where everything is going to revolve around the standoff at Fort Magdalena.
I think I think it will, but it's quite funny that now the SGSUs are gone. There's an airfield, but no SGSUs on it, so its tactical value is basically gone.
Yes, there's a lot of aircraft.
Oh, is there? Are they not destroyed when I...
No, the aircraft are still around.
Yes, the aircraft are there. They just... One of us would have to get an SGSU there to start
actually piloting
them off.
So, yeah, there's a lot of aircraft. There's essentially my primary fighter base is in Fort Magdalena. So if you're able to sweep in there with an SGSU, you can drop some pretty scary air missions.
I can just start ferrying them back to my own airfields, probably.
Well, I suppose that's probably the more sensible thing. You just transport them back, and then I've lost my planes.
But it takes sending an SGSU a long way. They have no defensive capability at all. Anyone looks at them, they're dead.
And right now, I've got 2 divisions, which are, thousands of men, hundreds of tanks. So if you were to try and march them past there, I'm quite happy to dip them a few hexes to the right and snuff out your guys.
Yeah.
So we've got to be real careful how we play this one. But it's made for an interesting standoff. I'm very both frustrated and very pleased about what you've done. It really was, I think, the first point where we've had a very clear tactical decision that isn't just go here, kill this. It's been quite decisive and quite calculated. So I commend you for that. Well done. You get whatever medals we give away on this podcast, you get one. So there you go. There's your medal.
Thank you.
Medal of Dishonor. And then just to the north, there was another conflict that I was hoping to finally get my revenge with against the Coldstream Guards.
Yeah.
3rd Coldstream Guards, isn't it? And I didn't get that today, unfortunately, because I fired off a barrage. It was a small barrage, to be fair, to try and pin them. I was ecstatic when I found out that your Coldstream Guards are just 1 battalion.
Yep.
A fair strength, 6 toe points. But when I tried to barrage them, they managed to get away. I could have pinned them and then trapped them, went for them. But instead, they managed to make a tactical retreat, pulled away, and have moved fairly far east.
Yeah, because they didn't move in any of my stuff. They were on full CPA.
Yes.
So basically, they pushed to the limit of their CPA now, because I was like, well, they're not going to get engaged and get decohesion or anything.
No, not without me going wild, because you can only move a unit again in the same op stage if they end their movement within 2 hexes of an enemy unit.
Yeah.
Which is what happened at Fort Magdalena. I could have moved them again this op stage.
Could have gone again, yeah.
And re-engaged, but again, because of the restrictions on CPA, I was reluctant to drain them of their energy to fight something that I think I would have won.
You would have.
But it would have been costly in terms of both ammunition and cohesion levels.
It's not worth it. You would have won if I'd stayed, if you'd pushed in.
Would have been maybe questionable.
Well, it would depend on your bombardments and how much ammo you had, because I would have just kept peeling away.
Well, I've already used 40 on a barrage.
Yeah.
And as you know from the capacity of trucks, one heavy truck carries 8 ammunition.
So that's 5.
5 heavy trucks. And most units don't have more than 10 heavy trucks assigned.
10's on the top end for me.
I've got some that have 25 medium, but then that's 25 by 4, so that's only 100 ammo.
Yeah.
And that's if they've all got ammo, which they definitely don't. Most of them carry other stuff like water or stores. So all in all, I think we made some clever decisions. You made a very smart and kind of cunning move, and I think I made the reserved, sensible choice to keep them there and not take the bait. I think you tried to play up to my ego. I think you tried to bait me with Fort Magdalena, but I'd rather have those planes in my possession in 4 op stages with you dead than have them right now and you peel off and manage to kill half of my black shirts. I can't allow that, Andy. I simply can't.
Do you only have the 2 divisions of black shirts?
No, I've got 4.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you'd get all 4 or if they were like the 2nd would be off in Europe somewhere.
No, the other 2 are in Tripoli at the moment.
Oh, are they trying to get here?
They're en route. They are on the march. In fact, I think not the next op stage, but the one after, they will be on the map.
Okay, so they're probably 2 turns from the front, would you say?
Well, I've got a decent stretch of road and then track from that port. Yeah. So if I keep them on the straight and narrow and maybe even motorize them.
Oh, yeah, you could motorize.
It just means dedicating trucks to that, which I'm kind of reluctant to do. So if I do that, I think I could probably get them there in 3 op stages, or 4 op stages.
Okay.
Because I think they've got one more there. Next one after that, they're actually on the map. And then 2 op stages to get to the front line. I think is doable.
Right, yeah.
So you're on a bit of a timer because, as you've picked up on, you've never encountered them in combat, but you seem to have picked up they are scary guys.
Yeah, they are your elite, and you said they're 5 close assault, some of them, so...
Yes, one of them has 5 close assaults, and that determines the close combat rating. So close assault is multiplied by the toe points that are available that make up the unit, and usually close assault is 1 or maybe 2 if you're lucky. These guys have 5 close assault. So you're looking at, 5 toe points, that's 25 close assault. That is a terrifying force in this game. It's insane. I think the highest close assault I've seen in the books is 5. I'm not sure anyone else actually beats that.
No, none of my infantry do. Tanks and stuff, I think, maybe. But in terms of infantry, I think they're as good as it sort of gets.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to get them over to the east. But I'm also conscious that when that happens, I've spent it. At that point, that they're out there, and I need to really commit them carefully, because what I've noticed is you seem to have a lot more smaller groups of men. You have a lot of battalions that are broken off.
Yeah, well, most of my front are detached infantry from the 7th Armoured.
Yes.
So, because the 7th Armoured at the start is just the vehicles.
Yes.
Its entire artillery and infantry are spread across that front line.
Which makes for an interesting dynamic of, do you reunite them, or do you keep them as separate groups?
And mobile to a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah, and then pepper them round as... Well, what you've done in this instance, it actually put me off, because I knew that in this instance, it would have been the Milady division, would have been caught on their flank, and you would have went for them, and they would have realistically committed to attacking the division, so they wouldn't have been fighting back very hard against your guys.
Yeah, which would have ended badly.
Yeah, it would have probably led to quite heavy losses in the Milady division. An overall win, because your division would be gone, but it wouldn't be without its reasonable cost.
I think I am going to be I'm going to bring some of it back together, because it was good there being no infantry, because I could beeline them to the front using the 15 CPA, not 8 or 10, as like the limit of the lowest thing in the unit.
Yes.
But because of the combined arms rules, having tanks rumbling around without attached infantry,
it's a very risky move.
It's quite risky.
Because unless it's a lot of tanks, then because of the combined arms rules, it means you would have a huge penalty to their effectiveness. What I will also do this week is make sure that when I pop up the post on our Instagram, which is just War with a Mate, every week we'll update it with the episode name and a little picture of the map. But this one, I'll make sure it's a relevant one. I will post the picture of that showdown at Fort Magdalena so people can visualize it a bit better.
Yep.
To see the standoff that you've created, as well as a smattering of other units that are nearby. So it gives a bit of an idea as what can be moved, here and there. And it's also, I think, just good practice, because we are, as we're playing this, we're thinking about how we're going to set this up in the main game, how we're going to communicate these sort of illustrations. So I think drips and drabs of that, it's just good practice.
No, definitely. I guess we're sort of getting close to... We've wrapped up, other than some of the trucks and like where they go.
Yes.
We've sort of wrapped up Op Stage 2 in terms of combat stuff. We've done the air and land stuff now.
We have, yeah. Yeah, it's all done.
So, I guess, looking to Op Stage 3, do you reckon you'll be taking initiative? You got any sort of goals that you want to get done next Ops stage, as it were?
So when you say taking initiative, do you mean that in the philosophical sense, or do you mean in the actual game mechanic of will I take the initiative?
I guess both.
So in terms of the game mechanic, no way am I telling you. That's not going to happen. I'm going to spring it on you last minute, as always, to try and catch you off.
Okay.
Especially after the cheeky tricks you've been pulling this time around. However, when it comes to taking initiative in the philosophical sense, the tactical sense, yes, I do now have, I think, a definitive play to end this turn.
Okay.
I think I know what I want the end of this turn to look like. I think I know what I want to try and accomplish and the positions I want things to be in when we move into the next stop stage. What I'm looking forward to, not in the sense of excited, but what I'm seeing ahead of me is store distribution. Because distributing stores is vitally important to make sure your units aren't falling apart at the seams and starving to death. And I have the 4th black shirts pushed quite far east.
Yes.
I need to get them food, so that is important. It also means potentially sacrificing my own trucks or giving them a gambit of make sure they capture yours to then obtain your resources, hoping that you have stores in some of your trucks. And that would disrupt your supply lines as well. So I've got plans that revolve around disruption of supply lines, because I think playing around with that is something we haven't done yet. We haven't went for supply lines. So
no, not really. I sort of unsuccessfully tried the long range to sort of snipe at some of your truck convoys, but I don't think either of us have gone for... Well, you hit the road. You bombed the road, which is not a direct attack on anything, but will have a cumulative effect on supply lines for the rest of the game, basically.
Yeah, and I think that was my first sort of foray into that arena, and I'm going to try and keep up that sort of thing with air support. I think that's an important thing to do with air support. It's go for supply routes, because when it comes to pinning, you can pin en masse, which we found out with our rules mishap. But when it comes to their real formidability, I think it will come down to disruption of supply lines. I think I'd rather do some strafing, some bombing that really targets your supplies.
Yeah.
Because if I can cut the legs out from under you before your men are even there, and they can't eat or drink or shoot, then that is much more valuable, I think, than pinning a few of them down when I may or may not attack them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to play around with that. What about yourself in terms of initiative?
I think I've been pretty aggressive so far.
I would say first op stage.
Yeah.
I think this op stage you've been a bit more reserved.
I sort of flew in on Fort Magdalena.
You did, but I think you've then pulled back quite quickly. So I think it was very much a one and done. And you were...
Yeah.
Did you expect to have such a resistance come for you afterwards?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I might be... I don't know, kind of on the fence about doing it or not, if it's going to be a mistake. But I might pull back a bit and set up a sort of front and a line and sort of reinforce that and get it set up. Maybe around Mercimetrue.
Oh, wow, that is pulling back quite a bit.
The train sort of fits for it.
Because then you can ferry men back and forward like it's nobody's business.
Yeah. So maybe try and like chew you up there a bit and then go on an offensive.
That's a risky move, though, because I'm pretty sure Mercimetrue is one of the winning conditions.
Yeah,
if I have that and Siwa.
But Tobruk, is it Tobruk the town, or Benghazi the one that's right next to all your guys at the minute?
That is... Pretty sure that's Tobruk. I think Benghazi's a little bit further over to the west.
Tobruk's one of my win conditions, because with it being a Graziani's offensive, I don't think I'm expected to take as much terrain.
Yes, I think you need to have... you're essentially holding a line.
Yeah.
And if I break that line and hold that line instead, I win.
Yeah.
Whereas if you push slightly to the west, you've won.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that actually pans out, and if we have anything close to historical accuracy by the end of this.
Yeah. Well, that'll be an interesting one, I think, towards the end of the offensive, to do a like... What happened in the game versus what actually happened.
Yeah, I think maybe we should have a look at that week in history, maybe when we finished up the first turn, see if we can gauge how close we were.
Yeah, because I might try and bait you into a sort of overextended Rommel.
There's something quite funny, by the way, about you telling me explicitly that you're going to try and bait me with something. I think that's... it's just a funny sentiment.
But I guess that's the thing is we saw with Enigma and a lot of this stuff. It's like, a lot of the time they knew what the other person was doing, but it's, can I get the guys there to counter it?
Yeah, like I could tell you in theory what I'm going to do now. I guess the question would be, one...
Can I do anything to stop it?
And two, is he even telling the truth?
Yeah.
Is the information accurate?
Yeah.
Do I have a reliable narrator, or is there somebody who's competing against me?
Because I'm also very much looking forward to next turn, because that's when there's no more limits from the scenario.
Yes, everything drops off.
Everything's available. So I'll get to use the Commonwealth shipping for bombardments and stuff.
Which I'll be interested to see. Yeah. I need to double check the map and see what kind of places are exposed for that kind of bombing. I think it's mostly my port cities. Yeah. The likes of Tobruk, Benghazi, that are right on the cusp of the coast.
Well, basically, they have a bombardment range of 2 hexes.
Yes.
So basically, and they can go, I think, 100.
I remember being something silly.
Anything within 2 hexes of the sea,
they can get.
Theoretically, they can get, I think.
It's a bold move, but I'm interested to see how you use it, because I can't really do a whole lot against them.
Yeah.
It is just a case of taking it as it comes.
And also, it is bombardment, so it could give losses, but it'll be primarily pinning.
Pinning and reduction of capacities and that sort of thing for ports.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to where it'll go. I think we've got a real chance for some wackadoodle business.
Yeah. Shall we... Yeah. Do you have anything else about this session?
No, I think it was quite compact in what we did. I was really expecting a massive showdown. Instead, we played it off quite calm and collected. You baited me a little bit. I didn't take the bait. Happy about that. So I think the real kicker will be Op Stage 3. I think Op Stage 3 is going to see some blood in the sand.
Yeah.
But if that's... Fuck yeah, a lot. If that's it for that, I guess we... have a little listen to that little beautiful chirping bird in my ear. Do you hear it, Andy?
I do. Oh, no. That wasn't it.
No, is that not? Oh, no. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's the telegram sound. That's it. It's news. It's news coming in. And the first thing I'm quite excited to share, it's one of 2 parts, which we'll delve into next week as well. But those who were here last week, which should realistically be all of you, this shouldn't be where you start. You'll be confused. You need to find out all the characters in the first season. What we did last week was have a bit of a breakdown, me primarily, because some smart aleck decided they would send a silly comic over with no context and confuse me. And congratulations, you got your wish. I hope you're happy. I bet you're giggling away in your seat because of what happened last week. I had a bit of a breakdown. It was all I could think about on holiday. It ruined my holiday. So thanks for that, buddy. Jeff Bezos, if that's your real name. Probably isn't. If it is, then again, very efficient delivery service, but I think you might be evil. We had a few responses about this Heathcliff comic, which is on the Instagram, by the way. I posted it there if anyone wants to look at this nonsense about the beef buddies. Some people have sent in some theories. There's one which is simply too in-depth for us to get into today, since we had other stuff to talk about, but we will next week, I promise. I love it. This week, however, we do have someone else's theory, and it comes from Dan. Dan says, I would not look for too much meaning in Heathcliff comics. They're meant to be more abstract, but do follow certain patterns if you read enough of them. That's sort of the issue. I've never seen one before then. For instance, there are many that show the 2 meat store owners, or other people, commenting on how the children love, and then random Heathcliff thing that he has. Heathcliff loves meat in general, and will promote the type of meat he is wanting. Heathcliff himself never talks. Ah, I see. He's all a sort of third-person narrator.
Protagonist.
I like that. He's strong stoic type. Such as a meat tank, ham blimp, or ham helmet. Ham helmet sounds good. Sounds a bit sexual, actually. As for why they sent this particular comic to you, maybe it was just the most recent one they saw and thought of you 2 as buddies. Aww.
I mean, that's nice. It's not a threat. It's just weird.
You know what? That's actually turned my mind around on it a little bit. Maybe we're the beef buddies, Andy. Yeah. Maybe children love the beef. I don't think many children listen to this. I don't imagine it's got anything for a kid to enjoy. We're talking about a board game they never can and should play, and we talk about non sequitur comics. Well, keep up the good work. Glad to hear you now have a better grasp of the game. To play it faster, I believe you can get it done in under 10 years. Dan. Well, that last bit, Dan, it's a bit unrealistic, isn't it? Let's face it.
Madness.
Yeah, it's a very nice that you think that of us, but I think you might be overestimating us.
It's a nice goal.
It is. It's a nice goal. It's a nice message, and I'm glad that you've given me a little bit of reassurance and also a little bit of a warmth in my heart, because now I see us as the beef buddies, Andy. Maybe that's what's going on.
Maybe we're the
here.
Beef buddies.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. We don't have a name for our little.
Yeah, we were the
duo
mates,
here.
but maybe we're the beef buddies.
We were the mates, yeah. Now we're the beef buddies. Well, as I said a long time ago, one of us is war, one is with a mate. Yeah, so
and it changes.
It changes based on day of the week. But thank you for that, Dan. Yeah. I'll bear that in mind, and I will probably be thinking a lot about what a ham blimp would look like. Bet it's sweaty, bet it's horrible. Bet it's tasty, though. Andy, you must have another piece of mail there, because our inbox is full up again.
Yeah, I do. From Richard. Ahoy, James and Andy. I've discovered your podcast through the worst idea of all time, and now that I've caught up, I thought I'd wire you an email, Graham. I've been really enjoying listening to you both, and I have a question. Whenever it's Christmas in the game, are you going to combine great game night with putting up a tree and decorations and having a full Christmas dinner, whatever the time of year it will be? And I suppose for the following week's New Year game night, you could stay up playing and or drinking until midnight. With best wishes, and hoping you can stay subtle, humble and brave for the long campaign ahead, Richard. It's a fun idea.
It is. I like the idea of doing a bit of a themed one for the Christmas segment of the game.
It would also, because I didn't put Christmas decorations up at Christmas at mine, because I can never be bothered. And I don't always have a full Christmas dinner. The random day we're doing
that particular play session
would be the most Christmassy day of the year.
And the thing is as well, because it takes us a little bit of time to get through any particular week.
It would be like a 2 or 3 week long Christmas.
In the middle of sort of March or something ridiculous. And, well, we did do a Christmas dinner this year. I did make one here during Dungeons & Dragons.
Yes, you did.
We made a Christmas dinner. It was questionable in its quality. Served on paper plates.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe give me a bit of a taster. I'd be happy to do that again. Make another subpar Christmas dinner. Maybe swap out some of the ingredients. And we do that. We just sit down for Christmas dinner while we play and make it a jolly old session. I think the bloodshed might taint that slightly. Maybe we have a truce that episode.
Yeah, that's what I assume every year in the World Wars was a big football game.
Yeah, well, that was just once, I believe. Just once, and it sort of highlights the futility of that war. And as for the New Year's bit, stay up playing and drinking until midnight. Sounds like a very fun idea, but the real crux is that we usually play this on a weekday, which is a work night.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do that, that is really going to get me in bother at work, because I'm going to show up smelling of booze.
New Year's Day jolly.
Yeah. And when I try to explain it to people at work and they ask what I've done,
excuse.
and I say, but I was playing a board game, so I drank all night because it's New Year's Eve in the board game. It's definitely a disciplinary waiting to happen.
I'm now observing both the holidays as they actually happen and also when they randomly occur in a game I'm playing.
And again, it will go on for potentially like 2-3 weeks in a row, so I'm going to have to binge drink.
It's Christmas month.
It's Christmas month. For 2 months straight at work, I will be showing up midweek, pissed as a fart.
They are back to back.
Yeah, they're going to be. So that's going to be a rough time. So there's definitely aspects of that I think we'll take on board, Richard. The heavy drinking I might have to stave off on, but maybe a little tipple, maybe a little sherry or eggnog during the session. I never had eggnog. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe when we get to the Christmas part, which will be in the full game, because...
And we won't be able to get eggnog because it won't be seasonal.
That's true. We'll have to buy it. To be fair, we won't do it in the scenario. We won't reach Christmas. We only get 6 weeks in the scenario from late September. So we don't actually touch Christmas in the scenario. So it might actually roll around to Christmas again by the time that we get to Christmas.
No, it will.
If we can align that perfectly, imagine that.
Let's not fuck around with the pacing of the game already.
That's a good point. Well, to answer your question, Richard, I think you'll probably have a lot of Christmas episodes come forward. So if that's your thing. And also very glad you found out about us from the worst idea of all time. They are fantastic podcast.
Yes.
I think possibly my favorite podcast of all time. And they gave us a little shout out, which was beautiful.
Nice.
So, yeah, thank you very much for that, Richard. Thank you all for your emails. There's a ton in there. You guys have really blew that thing up again, so thanks. There's another Heathcliff one we'll get to next week. I love it. You know who you are. It's very, very good. And everybody else, we, as always, endeavour to get to all of them. We promise to get to all of them. Just give us a little bit of time. We've got our hands full. And this concludes the mail segment. Thank you for the telegrams. So... as always, you know what's coming. You know it's coming. It's coming right now. We need to give you a little intro for this. Yeah. We've got a common ground intro. We need to get a little intro for Andy's history segment because you've very much taken the reins on this.
Oh yeah!
And my God, am I excited! I'm excited. Please, Andy, please tell me it's the Māoris again.
It's the Māoris part 2.
Yes, let's hear about them.
And we start with a quote, of course.
Yes, let's hear it.
So the quote for this week's: Fix bayonets.
Is that it?
That's the quote. And it does its job. It explains what's happening.
Sorry, that's it. That actually is it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So last time the Germans had landed on Crete on the 20th of May, and the Māori had got involved in a bit of their fighting with the house and their trip to the airport and back.
Yeah, poor buggers didn't know what hit them.
No.
I think it's probably the second worst trip to an airport I've heard of in the last week.
Yeah. So the Māori are heavily involved in the defense throughout this whole time, but I'm going to focus in on one particular battle, which is on the 27th of May.
Okay.
So keep in mind through all of this, they've been in constant contact with the enemy for almost a week at this point.
So is this directly following what happened last time?
This is on Crete, yeah, but 7 days later.
Okay, yeah.
But this whole time they've been fighting, they've been engaged, there's been bombers overhead, no sleep or anything. But they're fighting a withdrawal across the island south, where they're planning to be evacuated.
Okay, yeah.
Because at this point they can't hold Crete, and they know it. So a force of Aussies and New Zealanders, including the Maori 28th, are tasked with defending a road called the 42nd Street, which had an embankment along it, so it made a good defensive position. So these guys are holding it, and early on the morning of the 27th, Lieutenant Colonel George Dittmer, who's the commander of the Maori Battalion, went and talked to the other commanders involved, and they decided, or I guess he kind of told them, if the Germans get too close, we're going to engage and charge them. So here's a little snippet from the 28th Maori's battalion diary.
Okay.
0900 hours, aerial blitz begins, all type of planes being in evidence. 10:30, after being opened fire upon by the enemy at close quarters, companies A, B, and C fixed bayonets and charged with full vocal accompaniment. Which is
full vocal accompaniment?
Yes.
So that's a very nice way of saying they stuck knives on the end of their guns and then they went fucking loud and just started screaming out, I imagine, some sort of Maori battle cry.
Yeah, well, that's from their battalion diary, which is very understated. I'll give you some snippets of a more in-depth of what happened in this battle.
Okay.
So the Germans, it's their mountain division, who are a fairly elite unit.
Yeah.
And paratroopers, who are elites, are advancing on this position under the cover of machine guns and mortars, pushing towards a supply dump. They get too close. The 28th Maori did a haka and charge, surrounded and supported by a machine gun battalion. And here's some quotes from soldiers' personal diaries about what happened. Just before the charge at the 42nd Street began, one soldier, Private Hima Himera Apuri of C Company, on his own initiative, rose from his position on the western edge of the road, wielding a Bren gun magazine in one hand, like a ceremonial Patu club of his ancestral forebearers, and began to perform the haka command. So
the thing is, I've seen the haka performed, and it's already impressive. It's intimidating. I've seen it in like ceremonial events, like I think it's like graduations and stuff. I've seen
or like retirements or stuff. Yeah,
and it's scary then, and it's like it's a safe place.
Yeah,
but it's like, I would feel intimidated being there. And if that's in war, and someone's wielding their gun like a club, I'd be fucking mortified. I'd know I'd be dead. It's coming.
So here's a quote from a letter written by Fred Baker, who was attached to the 28th Maori.
Yeah.
Jerry tried to hold us back with everything he had. We had no supporting fire except Bren and Tommy guns fired from the hip as we came. We walked all the way, jumped into his first positions, bayoneted or Tommy gunned them. Then we walked to his next line. My fellows behaved as if they were on parade, and after we got to his second line, he started to crack and run. We got to about the fourth line before we met any further opposition. We soon silenced that.
Oh, the fired from the hip as well just really speaks to the kind of march that's going forward. It's not a precise one, it's an effective one.
Yeah, but also I was picturing a wild charge. He's describing it as them walking as if on parade, just this inevitable advance towards the enemy. So during this, he describes, it was during this advance that I got my wang in the right arm. That was during the first 300 yards, I would say. I bled like a stuck pig, and as I went on till it petered out, I didn't feel too hot by the time I got back to the RAP, Regiment Aid Post for attention. Still, it was worth it on our front. Dead for dead, the odds were in our favour by 30-1.
How have they ended up with that? Because there's a few hundred of them, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I'll get to the losses of this later on.
Oh, dear.
And this is him describing the enemy on that day. Also, I'm bleeding like a stuck pig contrasted with a wang on the right arm. It's very like...
And also the fact that this is a journal of someone. They're fine. They survive. I'm bleeding like a stuck pig.
Yeah.
And I'm now writing a diary about that event.
Well, this is describing why he maybe survived. They were certainly unnerved on the day I am referring to, and their shooting was frightful. I should have been shot to pieces as I was about 10 yards in front of my crowd, and the chap who got me was no more than 20 yards in front of me. He was behind a tree. This all happened in a big olive grove, and fired 2 bursts at me with his submachine gun, and that is all he could do. I know if my life depended on it, I would have done much better. For my...
I like how he's just talking down to this guy.
He's just talking shit.
Well, if I was going to die, I would have fucking fought.
I would have done much better for my boys got him.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that these guys are so nonchalant about all of it.
Yeah.
They've just done some of the scariest shit you can do in a war. And they're just like, yeah, I would have done better if I were them.
Speaking of nonchalant, it's not one of them, but he's part of the 7th Australian who are with them. One of them's reported to have stood up on the trench and gone, I can't see properly, boys, and just started walking towards the enemy, firing his gun.
Well, that's a bit like you mentioned this ages ago. I can't remember which segment it was, but you're talking about when you get like lost in the desert. It might have been the Long Range Desert Group, where you sort of wander over a dune, and then all of a sudden you're completely disoriented, and you wander off. Except this is in the middle of gunfire. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going. I guess I'll just go over here and kill everyone.
Well, it had the timber of a joke, but it preceded a charge at an enemy gun line.
Don't know where I am, guys.
So here's some more quotes from another guy about this battle. Suddenly something blew up in front and heavy machine gun fire opened on us. There was a yell on our right and we went forward with C Company shouting charge. 19th Battalion men at first hung back bunched behind olive trees. Either just before or after our overrun heavy machine gun mounting, there was close quarter fightings with some Germans who stood their ground. Hemi bayoneted one, a weird scream. I got a couple of yards in Wild West style. Matthews got a number with his Tommy gun and then sprayed a bunch of shamming dead in a shallow depression. It's just... He bayoneted one. Weird scream. I killed some people Wild West style.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know.
Did he stand there ready to like draw his pistol
I'm picturing
quickly?
that. Like, I'm picturing the guns at high noon. Like...
But it's a Tommy gun that he just brandishes and then pulls up to the hip and just mows someone in half.
At this point in his letter, he sort of describes losing track of what's going on a bit, and it has this incredible quote. I have no idea how the bunch of enemy came to be on the ground in front of us. We were running wild and it was confusing, but they were there. So, the Germans are advancing on this road. Completely unexpected bayonet charge by the Māori.
Yeah, there's no reason to expect to be bayonet charged in World War II.
The charge results in the Germans retreating over 1.5 kilometers. The pursuit stopped and the Anzacs decided to return only after air attacks from the Germans. At the end of it, over 280 Germans were killed, 3 prisoners taken. In response, 10 Australians were killed and 28 wounded. The Maori battalion suffered 14 casualties, 4 dead, 10 injured.
One of them,
So
of course,
the
was
30-1 is...
one of them stuck like a pig
Yes.
with a shot, a wang in the arm.
Yeah. This charge halted the advance of the Germans, who were pushing sort of uniformly across the island. And instead of going back to charge head on, the Germans tried to outflank these guys so they could basically have them in like
a horseshoe kind of
and
shape.
just gun them down in a kill box because they didn't want to deal with. But that did give the Allied forces time to continue. And as they tried to like loop round, the Maori they were ordered to drop back, and they avoided like being enclosed.
Imagine your frustration as German high command when you're putting this all together. You're like, right, let's box them in. It's like, not only have they done this, not only have they bayonet charged us and killed a bunch of us, they've fucking got away with it as well.
Oh, yeah. But this is, ultimately, the Crete is a losing effort, despite the bravery of the Maori and the Australians here. So on the 30th of May, 10 days after the initial landing, and due to shipping losses, it's determined it's not possible to evacuate everyone.
Okay.
So in order to maintain fairness, each battalion was allotted a certain number of men who would have to remain and defend the beaches to allow the others to get away.
God, that's brutal.
Yeah. So the 28th Battalion are allocated 230 men to embark, while 6 officers and 140 men would have to stay behind. They had more volunteers than their allotment. So some guys were like, I know you volunteered, but you get on the ship.
These guys,
Yeah.
they are out for blood.
Yeah. Also, during this time, there's another battle in a pass where, you know, the Lay Force Commandos, have you heard of them at all?
I don't think so, no.
They're another like elite commando group that's formed during World War II. They've got some of their own rules and the thing as well. But
Cool.
Very elite. At one point, one of their captains comes to the Maoris personally. It's like, can we have 2 companies to help us hold this pass? We heard about what you guys have been up to. But yeah, so from their time on the island, the battalion suffered 243 casualties, 74 men killed and 100 wounded, while a further 64 are captured. And Dittmer, who organised the charge, receives the Distinguished Service Order and letters and mentions and dispatches. But they fight the Battle of Crete, they make it on their ships, and now they're heading for North Africa. And we'll see what they get up to...
dear.
Next time.
Wow, what a group of guys. What a formidable group of guys. And the fact that they are heading to the mainland now, they're heading to the front line, the big map. I'm excited to see what they get up to there, because hopefully it'll give an idea as to what they compare to in the game and how I can avoid them.
Oh, yeah.
What I need to bear in mind is don't get too close to them, and also don't try and box them in, because they'll just escape and I'll be dead.
Just a quick story as a thing about these guys for when they do get to North Africa, because I might not include it next time. At a certain point, they get assigned to build a road, and they build it way faster than they're expected to. So some English officers go down to like, oh, how are they building this road? And they just go, there's nothing we can learn from this. This should, by all rights, be complete chaos. We don't know how it's working, but the road's getting built.
You know what I'm picturing? Have you ever played any of the Lego games?
Yeah.
You know when the characters build stuff in the Lego games and it just, the blocks click together? I'm just picturing that and they're like, this is fucking inhuman. I don't understand. These guys are doing everything. They are very much Renaissance men. They can bayonet, they can Tommy gun, they can build.
Yeah.
These guys can do anything.
I have a theory that the bayonets charge are working because they're so unexpected.
It's got to be.
It's got to be like, no, surely they're not charging the machine. Oh, no, they're here.
Well, they must be hit like the Germans with like analysis paralysis, where it's like, what do I do to solve this?
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot at them, but they're all running at me, and at some point they're going to get to me.
Well, you know how I mentioned they thought they were doing war crimes, the Germans, last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because they couldn't conceive of that many people dying in melee combat during what they were like, they must be killing prisoners.
There's no way that these guys are actually pulling this off. But come to think of it, if you're shooting usually if you're in like a gunfight, the way I understand it, but you sort of peel back a little bit, you try and get some cover, and there's a bit of, give and take.
Yeah.
But if they're just fucking running at you, it's like, right, I've got until my magazine runs out. I need to kill everybody, otherwise it's done, and I'm going to get stabbed.
And I guess also the thing of, like, he was certainly unnerved that day. I could have done better. It's like, also, these are big guys. They're like Maoris, like, charging you.
Well, yeah, I mean, the guys I've seen now in, like, doing, like, the hacker, like, the Maori sort of, it's like retirement stuff, I think I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, police officers and stuff, I think it is. And those guys they're built as well, like, really stacked. So, when
it's like
to
the all-black rugby team with bayonets charging you.
Yeah, and these guys are at war,
Yeah.
so they're also probably going to be beefy guys.
Yeah.
So when they're running at you, God, it doesn't matter if they've got a bayonet or not, I'm going to be in fucking danger.
Yeah.
The fact they've got a blade on the end of their guns make it so much worse. Also, just the image of a Tommy gun with a bayonet on the end is just an interesting image.
Well, I think the fixed bayonet order is a general prepare for close quarters combat. It's not necessarily... I don't think riflemen would have bayonet attachments, but otherwise it's just like, well, get your dagger handy.
Yeah, which is also scary. A guy just pulls a fucking dagger from his side and he just runs at you. Whatever it is, it's bad news.
But that's why I thought fixed bayonets was a very suitable quote for these fellas.
It certainly is. And I think that's also the coda of a lot of German lives in Crete, by the sound of it.
Yeah.
They did not know what was coming.
Oh, and they do not let up when they get to North Africa.
I'd be disappointed if they did. These guys need to keep on going at the pace they are, because this is fucking solid gold. Those guys, those Maori guys. God, I'm glad this is just a pretend game and not an actual war. I get frustrated with this. I can't imagine getting frustrated with that. I would just fucking die.
I certainly can't imagine. Yeah, let's charge, boys.
I might be doing that sometime soon, but it'll be much less impressive. I'm not getting any actual medals. Dispatches won't be mentioning me. But what I am going to have to mention, Andy, is my disappointment with you today, with that cunning move you pulled. There's only one way to bridge that little gap.
Oh.
What do you think it is?
Some common ground?
It's some common ground. And now for something nicer. A little oasis in the war. It's time for some common ground. I'm trying the intro for common ground. I'm recording it. Maybe. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Common ground for the uninitiated, whoever you might be. Surely you're not. Again, this shouldn't be the first episode. Why are you here? Why did you start at 32?
Well, if you did, welcome.
Well, welcome, but also, if you're at this point, pause now, go back to episode 1, listen to everything, and then get back here, and you'll understand the concept of everything.
Don't have to do that.
You have to do that. Don't listen to Andy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just being polite. Common ground is a segment in which we have to try and find somewhere we can bridge the gap between friend and foe. We need to become pals again. We need to become the beef buddies.
So what you got?
So my common ground this week, my suggestion, is we should do away with bottled water completely, and we should replace them with IV drips.
Okay.
So let me paint you a picture, Andy.
Okay, yeah, because...
You're a thirsty boy. You're wandering around. You're desperate or stupid enough to buy bottled water from the shop. Instead, what do you see? Oh, it's a bag with a little sort of wheeled stick on it. And all you need to do, you go into the shop, one IV bag, please. You stick it in your arm.
So we're giving ourselves injections.
No, it's not an injection. It's an IV drip. That's not an injection. It's a constant stream of fluid. You stick it in. And these IV drips, by the way, it's not just water. It's got all the salts and minerals, everything you need to hydrate.
Okay.
You put them in. And now, you don't even need the stick. That's just for show, if you want to look sort of, decrepit.
If you want to wheel it round.
Yeah, if you want to look sort of ill health, you can wheel it around that way. Otherwise, you just stick it in your backpack. You know the thing you've got in backpacks where you can put your headphones through?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, where you can put like your iPod Shuffle.
You know the IV has to be above the entry point.
Does it?
Yes.
Right. No,
of
of course.
gravity.
The bubbling wouldn't.
Also, I've had an experience with bottled water that in your thing would kill me.
Oh my god! I guess we need to do a very quick side tangent on that. So, when we were in Budapest, Andy decided to buy a bottle of water. To be fair, bottled water in Budapest is actually what spurred on this idea. I was thinking about hydrating. So when we were away, Andy bought a bottle of water, and we sat down at the tables outside our hotel room. It was scorching heat, sort of 35, 36 degrees Celsius, by the way, for any international listeners, which for us, we're from Britain, that burns us bad. We were lathering in sun cream constantly. Real hot weather. So he sits down across from me. We've both just popped to the local shop, got some bottles of water, try and hydrate, and I crack open mine, take a swig, and he cracks open his.
That is the worst sound when you're just desperate to chug a bottle of water.
It's sparkling water. Now, the thing is, I really enjoy sparkling water. On the holiday, I couldn't really drink because, like Andy mentioned, you can't chug it. You can't chug it. You can't down that drink and hydrate. You have to take sips. So you crack that open and it fizzes. And it's a bottle with a green lid. And you take a drink of that and you're like, oh, this is sparkling water, this is bad.
Luckily, I bought another bottle of water.
And you looked over at mine, and mine had a blue lid, and we determined it's sort of the inverse, because over in the UK, it tends to be the case that green lids, it's sparkling water, and it didn't seem to be the case there, because then you'd put together, right, well, in that case, this must be still water. So you pull out... And despite how exhausted I was and hungover and burning, that really fucking tickled me. And I was in stitches watching you with this disappointment of this, trying to use this Holmesian level of deduction, only to be stung once again by the cold chill of sparkling water. And it was just the look on your face, the complete defeat. It was fucking gold.
Yeah, so if you make that mistake with the IVs, you're going to get a bubble in the bloodstream.
So, well, that's it. We'll do away with sparkling water for the IVs. You can buy bottled sparkling water. All bottled water is sparkling water. The IV bags, what we'll do is, in the backpack, because I've clearly neglected to think about gravity, so you'll need to get a stick that almost pokes out your backpack. You know, like the tour guides where they've got a flag that comes out. It'll be like that.
Big pouch full of water.
Yes, yeah, with all of the essential things you need to hydrate. So then that way you've just got that stuck in yourself, and you know there's moments you have through the day, and we've had conversations about this in the past. You just forget to hydrate sometimes. It's very easy to do. You know, we're busy, individuals on the go, beef buddies on the go, and then you realize, getting to bed at night and you're like, I've drank no liquids today. It's easy done. Everyone does it, or at least some people do. Usually the absent-minded. And this negates that completely. Because if you feel a little bit thirsty, you're like, oh, well, if you're going to buy bottled water, you're already kind of falling for a scam. Let's face it.
Okay.
Unless you're in a country where you can't drink tap water, it is a scam. Unless you can crank that faucet and get some ice-cold, nice cold water, then it is a trick. It is a trick you've fallen for.
Okay.
So you're going to fall for that trick. Instead, look at this IV bag, jab yourself with this, take a wang in the arm, like you're the 28th Māori, and get on with it. Then that way you're hydrated for the day, wander around the office a little bit, sit down at the office, do your work, type away at the keyboard, and then, I feel refreshed. I feel good. How is this a bad idea?
Well, one, I think you need a nurse to place an IV.
Well, that's the thing. It would become so commonplace, everyone would know how to. Which, if anything, is also teaching...
people are good at stuff everyone does. There's not, regular fuck-ups.
It would be teaching people a primary skill that through habituation and osmosis, they would just learn to do. It's like, you know how to open a can of pop, don't you? You pull the tab. Be like that. It's just find the vein, stick it in.
Yeah, but when I pull the can of pop and I, fiddle with it a bit and the, thing falls into the drink... That's not injecting random shit into my muscles or whatever.
Well, then don't do that. Don't fiddle with it. It's going in your body. Okay. Take some responsibility.
Okay. Slight pivot.
Okay.
You can go get, an operation and they'll put a thing in. So you just... And then it's just a connector.
A connector?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like a little...
Like when someone's in hospital for a while, they'll attach the thing so they're
Like
not
a little
constantly
valve.
having to find the vein, yeah.
Yes. No, I know what you mean. No, that could work. Yeah, maybe people go for that electively. Or...
I mean, this is just very distressing about you because you don't want to drink your liquids, but you do want to drink your foods.
Right, are you bringing Huel into this?
I'm just saying consume things in the medium they're meant to be.
Oh, yeah, because you're not allowed to break away from the big capitalist monster, are you?
Of drinking things.
Oh, let's follow the machine. Oh, that's what we are. We're all robots and we'll follow the machine. You can't drink your food. You can't IV bag your water. Come on, man. Grow up.
Okay.
I was so ecstatic on the way back from a holiday when we were stuck at the airport for 6 hours on the way back. We had to wait there for 6 hours for our train to get back to our home. And no one was open because we were there from midnight till 6 a.m.
Yeah, I went on a little walk and all the shops closed at 12 and opened at 6.
Yeah, we were in the golden zone of not having anything available. There were no coffee shops, there were no cafes, no restaurants, no bars, no pubs. And there was, where we were sat, it was a sort of bus terminal at the airport. And they had a vending machine and a coffee machine. The coffee machine was broken. And they had a vending machine that vended a handful of different drinks and sort of snacks, but it was kind of crap. So after a little while, it was for a good 5 hours we've been sat there.
We moved to a different holding area.
Our friend had watched Jurassic Park 1 and 2, I think.
Of course.
You got through both of them. I just doom scrolled through various social media and TikTok, YouTube. You read a good book or two.
Yep.
You really burned through some interesting material.
The Fifth Element by Terry Pratchett. You should read it if you're listening.
Fifth Element?
Fifth Elephant.
Oh, I like The Fifth Element, the film.
It's not like that.
Yeah, I imagine not. I imagine Mila Jovovich is not a main character in this.
She's just a small role.
Cameo. We ended up going to the train station and separate to the bus terminal. Went to the train station to wait for our train, and we should have went there so much earlier because I sat down there, glanced to my left, and what do I see? What do I see? The first time I've ever seen anything like this. It's a Huel vending machine. I don't mean a vending machine with Huel. I mean a Huel branded vending machine. It's the beautiful oasis I was waiting for. It was fucking solid gold. And it was every flavor you could get. You could get the salted caramel, the vanilla, the chocolate, the strawberry, the cookies and cream. And then you could get the high protein versions, the black editions of all those flavors. They also had the soft drinks, like a mineral drink, an energy drink of these Huel drinks. It was fucking astounding. Now, the issue was, I was really ill because I'd been up for about 36 hours or something fucking ridiculous because I decided, what will I do before our last day when we go away and try and get home? I'll go to the nightclub in Budapest. I'll go to, I think it's Instant Fogas is its name. And you know what? Had a great time. It was jolly. But I've kind of regretted it when I'm sat there with no sleep, no food, but then I see Huel. And I would have sampled every damn thing in that machine. But I just couldn't. I had one. I had the high protein black edition vanilla Huel, and it was fucking beautiful. I still have the bottle. I've kept it as a memoir.
Oh, well, you can fill that with water and bypass your IV thing.
No, it needs to be an IV thing. We need to find the common ground, Andy. That's the whole point.
I mean,
I can't finish the episode.
You can't get rid of bottled water for this.
Why not?
You can make it available at vending machines for losers.
But bottled water's bad. You must agree with that.
Yeah.
Right, so
that doesn't mean the fix is... The bottled water is bad because of the disposable bottles. You just have disposable pouches.
They can be recycled.
They're medical equipment.
They're not medical equipment.
I'm sorry.
They sell them at Sainsbury's now in this situation, so they're not medical equipment.
That's not how that works.
Oh, I can't recycle this empty paracetamol box. It's medical equipment. Of course you can.
No, that's a box.
Right?
It didn't have... Okay.
This is just a bag full of water.
Just drink it.
Bottled water's not fucking medical equipment. You can recycle
Because you
that.
don't inject it.
You're not injecting the bag. The needles you have to put away safely.
Where are you getting the needles?
They come with the bag.
Back to
They come with the bag.
one.
You take it off at the end.
Okay.
And you pop that in like a bin, like a medical waste bin, which there'll be lots of now. There'll be like ashtrays. And the bag can just be recycled. Otherwise, you're making a point that all medical needles are bad because they are just waste. And therefore we should get away with, just not having medical needles.
For things we don't need them for. Yeah.
We need them. We need this. People need to be hydrated, Andy, and people aren't hydrated enough.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that.
Do you know what the statistics are of how many people are hydrated?
I think you don't.
Well, you've caught me. You've caught me in a lie. I was not going to make up a figure. I was probably going to admit to that. But ultimately, this is going to be for the betterment of mankind. Being able to be hydrated is so important. And I learned that on holiday in 36-degree heat as a very pale man from Britain.
I thought we all did fine hydrating.
We did well, but I realised how arduous it was. It was a real task.
As opposed to getting a cotton swab and an antiseptic wipe, clearing the area.
Yeah, but then you're done for the day.
Also, what happens to heroin addicts happens, and you're having to rehydrate through your toes because you've collapsed all of your veins,
Well, if that happens, just drink some bottled water.
which is gone.
Some sparkling water is still
Oh, there you
around.
go.
Yeah, you don't do it all the time. I'm not saying this is every day.
You just want it to be more available.
I'm saying if someone is silly enough to buy bottled water, do this instead.
Okay.
If you're going to buy bottled water, stick yourself with this needle. You'll be better hydrated, and it's definite. You will definitely be hydrated. If you're desperate enough to buy bottled water, take the IV drip. If you feel you're properly hydrated and you're not going to buy bottled water, then you don't need the IV drip.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds fine.
That sounds better?
Sounds as close as we're going to get.
Wow, that might be the roughest common ground so far. It's over such a fundamental issue that you just misunderstood. I'm going to have to put a poll up for this one, I think. I'm going to have to get the people's thoughts because I'm worried that I might just be the only genius in a mad world.
Or just a mad person in a normal world.
No, I'm the only one. I'm the only dreamer, Andy.
I mean, that's insulting.
Well, that's the burden that we take, Andy. Each week at War with a Mate, we have that. And I suppose we also do have a quite important announcement, which we were saving to the end. We took a long, hard think on holiday. We took some time and reflected on what it was like to have some spare time, the cadence of releasing the podcast, and how sort of difficult it is, the time it consumes. And we decided overall it's probably best if we just keep doing it. We just do it all the fucking time. We're going to do it every week. So we'll be here next week. We'll be every consecutive week. And we'll always be here because we're going to be doing this for probably about 40
For
fucking
the rest
years.
of our lives.
It's going to be forever. There's no way we can really stop doing this. I don't think this will ever end until one of us is fucking dead. So until then, stay hydrated. But from us, the Beef Buddies, all we have to say is if you're in the deserts of your mind, apply sun cream and make sure to tap that IV drip in your arm. And Andy, take us away.
Stay humble and brave.
There it is. All of you, good night, and we'll see you next time. If you want to reach out, info@warwithamate is the email address.
.co.uk.
Yeah, specifically, that's important. info@warwithamate.co.uk. Instagram is warwithamate, and our website is warwithamate.co.uk. Also, you can reach us on there. And other than that, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, and
Thanks for listening.
yeah, I suppose so.